Hello and welcome to the next video of what we have been looking at in humanities so far. And this video is going to give you some guidance for the summative assessment task, which we have discussed in class already. So what you have to do is you have to write 3 newspaper articles focusing on specific points in time. And the first newspaper article is looking at the period of the scientific revolution and the role of the Roman Catholic Church and the scientists, and also the Reformation. And what you are looking at is how the concept of equilibrium impacted past societies. So how did the concept of balance impact the society at the time of the scientific revolution and the Reformation period? Why and how were the ideas and theories were challenged and by whom? So why were certain theories put forward, what they were, and why they were challenged, and how they were challenged, and what was the action taken, and who was challenging whom. So when you're looking at the scientific revolution, obviously you have the Roman Catholic Church and the scientists of Copernicus and Galileo. And when you're looking at the Reformation period, you're looking at the likes of Henry VIII and also Martin Luther King and Johannes Gutenberg's printing press. You then need to look at the causes and consequences of the change in society. So what caused the theories to be challenged, and what was the impact, what was the consequences of these theories being challenged and of the change? Was there any impact? Was there any damage? Was there any change or not? You need to look at the advantages and disadvantages of the theories which were challenging each other, and you need to look at how the evolution of beliefs and actions of significant people impacted society in the short term and the long term. So for your first article, if you're looking at criterion A, humanities knowing and understanding, you need to demonstrate your knowledge of the idea, the concept, the big idea of systems. So what was the system in place? What was the structure? What was the hierarchy? Who was at the top? And then who challenged it? And what did they challenge the system with? And how did those in power respond to that challenge? And when you're looking at your keywords, which will be useful for criterion A, knowing and understanding, and also your thinking critically, you're going to be looking at keywords like Aristotle, Roman Catholic Church, medieval Europe, Galileo, Copernicus, heliocentric model, the prime mover. You need to really make sure that you have learned from the formative assessments and make that connection between the geocentric model of the universe having the prime mover and the heliocentric model of the universe not having the prime mover. And that was one of the key differences between those two models. Then you need to be talking about the action taken by the church. Then you also need to be mentioning the Reformation period. What time are we looking at? What is the time scale? Refer to the timelines video that is already uploaded on the YouTube channel. And then you're looking at these key people, and it can be remembered by, oh my God, okay, where you're looking at King Henry VIII, Martin Luther and Gutenberg. These 3 key people were involved in the Reformation period, and what you need to then be discussing is what was the impact to society in Europe at that point in time, and was the impact short term or was there more long term impact which perhaps at that point in time we could not see. But remember, you are a time traveler, so you can make some relevant connections to today's world and what we now know, because we know that we know about the universe and about religion and about science and how authority can change and how its rule can always be challenged. Okay? So that is your task for the first article that you need to write. Okay, so let's just have a quick recap. the concept of equilibrium, the concept of balance, and how changes in the balance impacted societies. Why and how ideas and theories were challenged, and by whom. So what were the ideas? What did they say? How were they challenged? Who challenged them, and why did they challenge them? And what was the impact of this challenge to the ruling authority? You need to look at the pros and cons. You need to look at the evolution of beliefs and the actions of significant people, how that impacts society in the short term and the long term. Your key words, one more time, okay? You're looking at Aristotle, you're looking at geocentric model of the universe, you're looking at the Roman Catholic Church, you're looking at Christianity, you're looking at medieval Europe, you're talking about the prime mover, you're talking about how the Catholic Church had authority through its canon laws and what it could do with those canon laws. I missed those off on the previous section. And then you're moving on to the heliocentric model. Who said that? Copernicus, Galileo. What was the response of the church? How did it impact society at that point in time? Did it have any impact in the short term or in the long term? And then you're moving on to the Reformation period, where you're talking about the actions of Henry VIII, Martin Luther King, and Gutenberg printing press. And what changes in society this brought in Christianity. You have the two groups, Christianity and Protestants now, instead of just one. And then you need to be talking about the actions taken by the Roman Catholic Church and why there was a difference between the actions during the Reformation period